Devin McCourty, NBC Football Night in America, analyst, three-time Super Bowl champ with the Patriots. He was doing pregame, halftime, postgame last night for Westwood One. When did you realize this probably wasn't going to go as scripted for the Chiefs?
For me, it was over when Zach Bond got that interception right before the half. Like there was a chance you climb back in the game. It would have been a hard task. But once he got that interception right before the half, I thought that ruined it. The Chiefs were going to have a chance to go there, score, and then get the ball after halftime and try to go score again. That could have changed the game, but I thought that interception kind of sealed it.
Help me understand this as a former defensive back. Let's say you were getting ready for the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden your defensive coordinator says, we're not blitzing at all tonight. Now, I don't know if that was the decision pregame, but they weren't going to blitz Patrick Mahomes. They had that much confidence. I mean, it sounds crazy, though, but they didn't need to blitz him. Why?
For me, it doesn't sound crazy because we played in Super Bowl 53, where that year playing against the Rams, we were heavy man-to-man blitzing, and we came in and they were like, hey, not only are we not going to blitz a lot, we're not even going to play that much man-to-man on first and second down. We're going to give them a totally different game plan. And if we execute it, they're going to struggle with it. And that's what we did. And I think Philly might have thought about throwing it, but once the game started and they saw what they were doing up front, it was like, why would we even think about calling a blitz? They can't handle anything we're doing with just our rotational four-man rush.
What should they have done?
I thought Kansas City, at some point, they didn't run the ball early in the game. And I know it was tough, but Saquon didn't run the ball particularly well, but they kept running it. And then I thought you had to get to your quick passing game. And they never did that. They did a little bit of it in the second half where they threw some passes, very quick and tried to break a tackle. Philadelphia did do a good job tackling after the catch, but I thought that was the biggest issue with Mahomes and the Chiefs, that there was no adjustment. Like, you can't sit back there in the pocket and do what you normally do, holding the ball, moving up, finding exits, and then going making plays. They took that away, and they just kept doing the same thing, getting stopped. I thought they never truly tried to adjust.
No, I know Mahomes is going to get a lot of criticism. Really, it's the offensive line, and I don't think Andy Reid had a good game last night. When you think about adjustments, as much credit as we want to give Andy, he's one of the great coaches of all time, we got to be fair in distributing, criticism. The line, not good. Mahomes, as a result, was not good. Game plan, not good. That's what surprised me more than anything. I thought when they came out halftime, and I agree with you, I thought they'll score a touchdown, it'll be 17-7, go into halftime, come out and make adjustments. You get the ball first. Now we got ourselves a game. And it never happened. That's what surprised me the most.
Exactly. And it was across the board, even on defense. And I know they did a good job of Saquon Barkley, but it also was like, well, the game has kind of defined itself that just stopping Saquon Barkley is not going to change the outcome of this game. And still, it didn't seem like they ever tried to confuse Jalen Hurts, give him something different. They did a good job with, Devontae Smith, a ton of motion in early in the play to see if it was man or zone, put him into the short side of the field. Just a lot of different things Philly did that I never thought Kansas City did on offense or defense to try to make it harder, to give them something new to deal with. It was almost like they thought the same way we thought, the way the game was going, like, hey, this is just not our year. This is not the game for us tonight.
And also, it felt like this whole week in New Orleans that there were a lot of analysts who were ready to get Mahomes at least right there with Tom, or to label him the greatest of all time because he was going to three-peat. Tom's legacy is probably still pretty good right now, would you say?
I would say the way, and I know it's fresh in our minds right now, but to lose the way that they did, and for that to be the second time on the Super Bowl scene of a huge game, to go out there and really just get destroyed, I just don't think was a good look. And we can't take away, look, they went back to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Tom was able to do that too. He won 2 of them. They won 2 of them. So it's still something for them. But the way they lost, why it's like fresh in our minds, we just don't see the Brady and the Patriots team. They never lost that way. They might not have got there, which I think that you could argue about that. But once they got there, you just never saw a game where, midway through the first quarter, second quarter of the game, we're like, well, this one's just gone. At some point, they always were able to rally.
He's Devin McCourty, won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots. He works for NBC Football Night in America. I did think about this last night, and I haven't thought about this in a long time. Might have been the first time I thought of they really missed Tyreek Hill.
Yes, there's no doubt because, and you could throw in Rashee Rice, that we kept saying, this Kansas City team, there's a lot of holes. I don't really like this. I don't really. And it was like they would play the game and you would be like, somehow they make it a game. Somehow they figure out how to go. And Philadelphia was the first team to say, you don't have receivers that can get open fast on us. You don't have the offensive line that can stop us. We're going to go exploit it and destroy it. And that's what they did. But Kansas City's credit is they were outmanned in a lot of games this year, and it never really showed up because of, like you said, the good game planning by Spagnuolo and Andy Reid. Today, last night was simply, we have better players than you, and we're going to show that for 4 quarters.
How should we look at Jalen Hurts if we do look at him differently after last night?
For me personally, I still would put him behind those top 4 guys in Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. But we have to also recognize is 2 times Jalen Hurts has been on this stage in the Super Bowl. He's been spectacular and outplayed Patrick Mahomes, the guy of this era who we say is the GOAT, every single time. The 2 times that he's outplayed him. So a ton of credit has to go to Jalen Hurts. He has to be a guy that needs to be mentioned year in and year out. He's going to be in this game or have a shot to be in this game because he's proven that with this team. And if he gets there, he's going to be a hard out for whoever has to play him.
Yeah, they're going to be here. I mean, if you're an NFC team, you're probably going, damn. They're going to be great, should be great for a couple of years now. Now, these windows close, just ask the 49ers. It closes quickly here, but they're set up. They're set up for success for another couple of years, it feels like.
Nick Sirianni felt it. He got up there after the game and he said, "Hey, Kellen, let's run this black." and like that was the message of, I know your name is being mentioned, and I know it looks like because this has gone on for so long, you're heading to New Orleans. But after being in that environment, he's like, what are you thinking right now? Let's run this back. Let's do this again next year. Everything they're saying about the Chiefs, that could be us in the next 4 to 5 years because they have that kind of talent and a lot of young players. But you also got to figure out your cap. As you keep winning, guys get new opportunities. Guys want to leave. Coaches want to leave. So they have to figure that out if they want to be back in these games.
Did you see Coach Belichick in New Orleans?
I didn't get a chance to see him. I saw his guy, Burge, from New England. I used to see all the time back in New England, but I didn't get a chance to run into him there.
He had all of his rings on. Like, who is this Bill Belichick now?
Sometimes you got to step out and remind people who you are. Put all the rings on, hit the red carpet, do your thing. That's what Coach had to do.
Hey, thanks again for joining us all season long. We appreciate your time.
No problem, man. Good to see you.
Thank you, Devin. Devin McCourty, NBC Football Night in America analyst, won 3 Super Bowls there in New England.